Hi everyone, Grey Power 60 here. It's a Tea With Me Tuesday. I haven't been on for a while. I probably won't come back on for a while. Maybe weekly, I'm not sure. I have a lot to tell you, but first I need a cup of tea. A couple of things, a lot has happened since the last time I was on. And I got a lot to say. It's kind of a downer in a way, but anyway. So, time frame, I am terrible right now. I can't remember what day it was, but anyway. So last week, Mom fell coming into our apartment. I had my hands full with groceries, and Mom always follows very closely behind me, but she went off a little bit and tripped on the curb coming in and fell. She was carrying, thank God, she was carrying toilet paper in this hand. So when she fell on that hand, but she also bumped her head. Scared to, I just dropped my groceries, screamed, "Mummy!" I mean, I just screamed, and somebody must have heard me, and one of the workers came out and helped me, and we brought Mom upstairs with my groceries because I had to get those into the house, and he brought them all the way upstairs with me. He also took a photo of where she fell, and I mean, it was just totally an accident. Mom always follows right behind me, and I always make sure. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. That's my other thing. Anyway, I brought her upstairs, put the groceries away. Well, I had some frozen stuff, so I wanted to put all the groceries away and wipe her forehead where it was, you know, like a knee when you scrape your knees, only it was, scrape, but it was a bump over her eye, and wanted to wipe that, but she wouldn't let me touch it. And her hand, she must have fallen on her finger, and it pulled it back because the way she was holding the toilet paper, I'm guessing. She fell, and this one finger kind of spread out a bit and bruised up all her hand. Anyway, we went to emergency. I wasn't going to leave it like that. I took her right away. We went to emergency, and I have never in my life seen an emergency room so packed full. I have been to that emergency many, many times, different times with Mom, my sister-in-law, all kinds of, not sister-in-law, my daughter-in-law. Anyway, many times. It's been busy, but there was seating enough for 50 people, and it was packed full, plus extra seating, plus people standing up. And we have to go through triage first. And because of Mom's dementia, she cannot answer questions. She doesn't even know where we are or what's going on. So the first thing we have to go is show our health card. Oh God, our health card. But I was parked at emergency where you're not allowed to park, but I didn't know what else to do. So he said, we'll put a note that you've gone to move your car, but I had to bring Mom with me, go to the parking lot, which is all the way around, walk Mom all the way back through the hospital to emergency. It's not well laid out that way. If I was to ever design a hospital for emergency parking, that definitely, yes, it's got to have ambulances, but I would definitely have it designed another way. Anyway, it was apparently a 12-hour wait. I was very fortunate because of Mom's condition. They first, like I say, I went back and I told him, we parked the car and we went and sat down, and we were only there for about 15 minutes. Now, triage first, they take her information, then they give it to, and I told them all about mom and dementia, and she fell and hit her head and her hand, and I was afraid there was a broken bone. Anyway, then we sit and we wait, and then we see a nurse, and then the nurse takes your blood pressure, asks all the questions, checks you out, etc., etc. And of course, she was so sweet with mom, and of course, mom had her baby with her, and she tried to talk to her, so I had to answer. Anyway, got through that. We weren't there, I would say, another 15 minutes when a nurse came out and physically brought us to a different area. Normally, when you go to emergency, the nurse will take you to a holding section, a waiting room, holding section. Well, I guess fortunately there was a doctor available to see mom right away, and she went in, she checked her hand, and her hand was not too bad, but the next morning it bruised up really bad, and then it went away like within 2 hours. So I don't know. Anyway, and checked her head and checked all kinds of things, and suggested that sometimes when dementia patients fall on their head, because their brain is shrinking, and age as well, not just dementia, Alzheimer's, but also age, their brain shrinks, and when they have a fall, there could be bleeding in the brain. And she said that they can do a CAT scan to check to see if there is any bleeding, and but they would have to sedate her, and they would have to give her a needle, and they would have to do all kinds of stuff, and if there is bleeding, they would have to do emergency surgery. And then she explained that this is the worst case scenario. Sorry, I'm getting over a head cold. Started off sore throat, then a runny nose and ears, and anyway. And my Parkinson's, it's a type of Parkinson's where my head shakes a lot. It's hereditary in our family. We're a type of Parkinson's, and kind of like Katharine Hepburn, same kind of thing. Anyway, in case you ever wondered, not that it matters, but it doesn't bother me. Except when I'm stressed, it gets worse. Here we go again, coughing. So anyway, she saw her, and anyway, she said she doesn't believe that that when she fell, excuse me, sorry, runny nose. She checked her out thoroughly, tried to take her blood pressure. She had trouble. Mom didn't want anything. Mom was being very protective of herself, I think. Anyway, sorry, blowing my nose and coughing and etc. Watery eyes. So the doctor suggested that I take her home. She checked her arm, checked her hand, and there didn't seem to be any broken bones, but it's hard to tell. But she did check, Mom could move her hand, no problem, but it was, bruised, obviously sprained. Checked her finger and checked everything, checked over her eye, and, anything. Anyway, she said check her out for a couple of days. If there is any change in her behavior, in her sleep pattern, anything, bring her back right away. And we'll do a whole CAT scan thing. Now, she had also asked me, would I be acceptable to the brain surgery? And she gave me all of the pluses and minuses and so on and so forth. Now, if she was a younger woman and there was bleeding on the brain, they would do the surgery and she'd be fine, but at her age, she may not survive the surgery. So I said, no, I want Mom to have, and she was saying also it's quality of life. And she went into a lot of details. I'm sorry, I'm skipping over way too much stuff, and it sounds kind of cold, but that's not the way it was. She was an excellent doctor. And she said, when was the last time your mom had a tetanus shot? And I couldn't remember. I mean, she may have had one when I had brought her other times, but I didn't have any record of it, and I really didn't know. And she said, well, if we want, we could at least give her a tetanus. So the poor nurse, oh, I felt so sorry for her. She came in and got Mom's, and she rubbed Mom's arm, and I'm talking to Mom and talking about the baby and trying to keep her occupied. And the nurse went to give her a needle, and Mom swung, started saying the F word, just don't touch me, don't do that. Anyway, so I said to the nurse, I'm so sorry, let it be. She's 92 years old, and I'm not going to have her be, we're not going to restrain her to have a shot. And it's pretty much what the doctor told me about getting blood work done. Mom may not, at her stage, may not sit and allow a needle to go into her arm, and it may cause her more anxiety than is necessary. So the nurse, put the needle away and calmed Mom down, and I calmed Mom down, and I hugged Mom, and I said, oh, it's okay, and, So that was it. I was very lucky not to have to sit there for 12 hours with Mom. So I think total a couple of hours that we were there. And she's fine. She did get a black eye. It did, bruise around her eye. And her arm is tender. Now it's tender. Before it was really sore. Now it's just tender, a little black and blue, but, that'll go away. But it's not broken. She can move it. She can do all kinds of things. It can be touched in certain areas, but not in other areas, Anyway, I'm going on and on forever. But anyway, so just to let you know, Mom is okay. She's been in great spirits. She's actually been quite loving and good appetite, still eating well, still sleeping well, and that. And I don't know whether I caught a germ at the hospital because I didn't have, did I have? Yes, I had my mask on. But anyway, we had our masks on. I don't remember, but anyway, I must have caught a germ somewhere, or maybe it was from shoveling snow and you get all sweaty and then you get cold and then you get all sweaty and you get cold, and the temperature's been going up and down. Our snow's been starting to go away and then it comes back, and then I don't know where this head cold, but it came with sore throat. Started with a sore throat. And I thought, oh no. So of course I take out the tester for COVID, because you never know, because a couple of times we've gone out and I didn't wear a mask. But since I've had my head cold everywhere I go, I've worn a mask because I don't want to get any more germs and I don't want to give any more germs. And when we're in the car and I'm with Mom, I have my mask on, and so does Mom, because I don't want her catching my cold, but we live together. But anyway. So, yeah, I still got a stuffed up nose and the ears are a little plugged and there's a little, no, I don't have a headache now. I did have one yesterday, but it's starting to go away. And that has been, the crazy, it's just been crazy. It's just been very stressful and very uncomfortable. I've been watching Mom like a hawk. And I haven't done anything else. I think the only thing I've done is vacuum and of course my dishes. But I haven't done any laundry. I haven't done any cleaning. I haven't done nothing. I've done nothing. I have just been focusing on Mom. And she goes to bed and then she gets up and then she goes to bed. She says she's tired. She starts to fall asleep on the chair. And I bring her into her room to go to bed. I'm having trouble getting her to wash her face. I'm having trouble getting her to washing her hands is not too bad. I can usually get her to do that. She doesn't understand if I say, Mom, let's wash your hands. What I have to do is once she's finished on the toilet and she gets up, I'll go to the sink and run the water, and it's nice and warm, and I'll do this, and I'll say, let's wash your hands, Mom, and kind of gently bring her to, and then I take the soap. I've got one of those soap dispenser things, and I would put a little on her hands and rub them, and then she'd know, and then she'd wash them and wipe her hands and feel better and so on. But I have to dress her. I have to. She's now wearing a diaper all the time because I've had a couple of accidents, I think I've mentioned. And, you know, it's a new stage. It's a different stage. I'm finding that I can't do any crafts. I've kind of gone off them, and I think it's probably because of the stress with Mom. And I've had trouble sleeping because Mom sometimes gets up in the middle of the night. And then the other day, she got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I coaxed her. It was still dark out, and I coaxed her to go back to sleep. I brought her to the bathroom. She didn't want to go. I got her to sit down. She didn't have to go. Brought her back to bed. She went back to sleep. I couldn't go back to sleep. I was awake all night. I was awake. I just stayed up and made myself a cup of tea, and I just said, oh, well, you know. I'm also very fortunate that when Mom and I are watching TV, sometimes I'll nod off in the afternoon when we're watching TV if we haven't gone out. Or not in the afternoon, but late morning. Sometimes we're watching TV and I'll kind of doze off for about 20 minutes. And she'll just sit there. She doesn't get up. She doesn't go anywhere. Whereas if I'm sitting there and we're both watching TV, sometimes Mom is not a sitter. She's always been a walker. She's always worked on her feet. She's always done things. She's always been doing things. So she'll get up and she'll just walk around the apartment. And she'll just, you know, stand there sometimes just looking around just to get up. Because, you know, sitting for any length of time, she gets tired and she gets bored and she gets sore. But I just wanted to let you know. I know this is a long video. Again, I can never keep them short. But anyway, so I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to do videos. I decided I am exhausted and I'm going to bed. But I thought, you know what, I am going to do this video for you guys and get it up. And thank you all for supporting my channel, even though I haven't been on in the last little while. I don't know when I'm going to go on again. I haven't touched any of my Easter. I have a beautiful container of Easter projects I wanted to do, just like Valentine's, just like St. Patrick's Day. I have stuff, but I haven't got the heart to do anything right now. When Mom fell, I was so panicked, so stressed, and so full of tears because I felt that I wasn't looking after her enough. Now, I know that's not true. Accidents happen. I mean, she can fall on the floor anywhere, trip on something, on her own feet, in her boots, you know, coming down the hall. But you know, the guilt. I mean, I was heartbroken, you know, because I'm supposed to be there for her. And, you know, it's like having a child when you have an accident, when your child has an accident. You know, you can't look after them 24 hours a day. You can't watch them 24 hours a day. And Mom is so solid walking on her feet. She is solid. And anywhere we go, she always lifts her foot up to go up on the curb. She always. But this was just something that happened. And that is it. I'm sure there were so many other things I wanted to talk to you about. I just can't remember. My focus was totally on Mom. And I was worried, you know, that there might be some change, but there's no change. Mom is, sometimes I'll sit there and she'll go, "You're so beautiful, and I love you." And she gets loving, and then I get up and I hug her. And sometimes that's all she needs, is just a hug, you know. I'll tell her I'm going to go and make supper, or I'm going to go make lunch. And she'll go, "Oh, can I go with you?" Not quite in those words, but that's what she means. And I said, "Sure, come with me." And she'll watch me. And then while I'm there, I'll give her a hug. Sometimes that's all she needs. And she might not remember that I hugged her, but every time I hug her, she feels good. And that's all that I'm looking for, is I want her to feel good. I am lucky, really lucky, that she's not depressed. You know, she doesn't cry a lot and get depressed and things like that. She's quite even keeled when it comes to moods. Although when she did first dip into this plateau she's at now, she did go through a bit of a not aggressive, but kind of cranky, kind of cranky. But that seems to have dissipated, and she seems to be kind of leveled out. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know what we've been up to. I'm still all stuffed up with this darn cold. I've been taking, you know, all kinds of stuff, and that's life. This is my life right now, and I have no time to do anything else. And I apologize for not doing any videos and not keeping you up to date, but it's just been stressful. And I'm hoping I'll be able to get on more often, but at least for now, I just wanted to let you know what's going on with us. And I'm trying to get more sleep. I'm trying to be more conscious of my health, minus the cold. But I'm getting over it. And Mom still enjoys going out for a drive, and I am so super careful when she's walking, and I have her on my arm. I have her arm, actually, and sometimes she'll pull it away because she doesn't want me to hold her arm. But, you know, that's okay too. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. That's what's new. That's what's going on. The guilt that a caregiver carries sometimes is just like a new mom when your child hurts themselves, and just for that split second you look away and something happens. The guilt is so unbelievable, but we get over it. We get over it, and we have to. I mean, the nurses and the doctor and my children, you know, "Mom, you're doing the best you can." You know, the doctor said, "You know, accidents happen. Please don't blame yourself," because she saw, you know, tears in my eyes. And that's about it. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. thanks so much for just supporting our channel. And we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.